Hello everyone, and I am so happy to be talking to you. It's been a while since I've made a video, so I figured I would just jump on. I just left the open house for the twins, and I wanted to put a little shout out there for parents of kids who have special needs and are in special schools and so on and so forth. Because when I got to their open house tonight, we were late. Go figure, because it started about 10 minutes after the boys were supposed to get home from school, and we live about 35 to 40 minutes away from the school because they're in a specialized school. So I expected that we would have missed a bunch of stuff and there would be no parking, and I was really shocked because when I pulled up, there was tons of parking and there was only 4 cars in the parents' parking lot. Now the staff parking lot was full as always, but there was only 4 cars. Now this is a school that probably has upwards of 80 to 100 children minimum. And I was a little shocked because these are all kids who have specialized need for a therapeutic schooling environment. Now granted, I know that not every parent is like us. I know that not every parent is involved, and I know that not every parent participates or has the ability to participate in something like open house. But we were one of 6 families who had signed in on the open house log, and I just think that sucks, because this is a school where all of the children, like I said, have some sort of disability or extra need, because it's a therapeutic environment, specialized, separate day school, run by the public school, but still a specialized environment. So these are the kids that need it the most. These are the kids that need the engagement. And if you're anything like me, you're tired. You're tired, you're exhausted, because these kids drive you nuts. These kids drive me nuts, okay? I get that. They drive me absolutely nuts. Now my story's a little different because I chose this. And I know that a lot of you parents out there, you didn't choose this. You didn't choose to have a child with all of these disabilities, and I did. And I have to remind myself of that sometimes when I get really frustrated, because I chose this. I knew this going in, that this was going to be difficult, that educationally and emotionally and cognitively and every other way, these children are difficult children. But these are the children that we have. And even though they are a major pain in the ass a lot of the time, like, let's be honest, okay? We're all friends here, right? Most of us probably want to rip our hair out 23 and a half hours a day or so, depending on how much you get to sleep. But how are you helping your child's educational environment? That's my question I pose to you all today. Is just asking them about school when they get home enough? Is talking to their teacher enough? Is an IEP meeting once a year enough? What do you think? Because to me, I don't want anything happening to my child without my explicit consent and cooperation and engagement. So although I had absolutely no time to spend at open house tonight, I left them, as you can see, they're not with me. I left them with my wife at open house. We ended up taking 2 cars up there because I do have another meeting tonight, and I'm going to be late to that because I had to kind of squish this open house in between my other plans for the day, because my kids matter. And honestly, I wasn't going to go tonight. I was going to let my wife go because I go to every meeting at the school. I know every person at that school. I know the kids by name. I know all the staff. I know where their offices are. You know, there's nothing that they could say to me in open house that I don't already know. And I wasn't going to go. But then I told the boys that I wasn't going to be able to go, that I had another meeting tonight. And both of them just kind of looked at me, and Malik's jaw dropped. He was like, What do you mean? You're not going? This is important. And as you guys know, if you've been following our story for any length of time, it's very rare for my kids to find things that are actually important. So he says to me, you just don't even care about my education. And I got a real kick out of that because he knows darn well I care about his education. He knows that I'm at every IEP meeting. He knows that I fight tooth and nail for everything for them academically. But to him, me not going to this open house was an abandonment of sorts. It was me saying that what I had to do was more important. And he told me that. He told me that me not going means that I think that it's not important. And I had to really ruminate on that because my first thought was, watch your mouth, child. Like, you don't get to tell me what I think is important, so on and so forth. But then I had to really think on it for a little bit because in his eyes, that's exactly what it was. In his eyes, in his heart, in his understanding, me not going and me going to this other meeting was a rejection of him. And I never want that for my kids. I never want them to feel that they're not incredibly important to me. So I had to talk with them yesterday or today, I don't know, my days all mix, about balance and about how part of me taking care of me is me being able to go to this other meeting tonight because it's important to me. And I told them that I was going to go into my meeting a little bit late and balance the fact that I could do both. And Malachi gave me an I don't care because that's the mood his little moody, angsty teenager self is in lately. And Malik just smiled. And he thanked me. And that's important to me because to him, I heard him. And I took what he said to heart. And I made an adjustment. And I always, always want my kids to know that they can talk to me about things. Even something that I think is as silly as an open house. No offense, teachers, I think you're great. But when I am at the school, I'm at the school every week. At least once a week, if not more. So I am very involved in their educational process. So to me, open house is just redundancy because I already know this. I know the teacher, I know her lesson plans, I know Kai's teacher, I know his lesson plans, I know everything that they do. So it is nothing that I don't know, but it was important to me that my wife go because she's never been to their school because of her work schedule. So now I'm rushing down to my other meeting tonight, but when I left tonight, they both said thank you to me for going. And my kids don't say thank you very often for things, unless they're trying to manipulate me into giving them something else. And that made me feel proud. That made me feel like for this moment, somebody came through for them. And not just somebody, both of their moms came through for them. And even though this morning started out god-awful, and I had to physically hand Malachi to the aide on the bus today because he was being so ridiculous this morning, I was able to be there for them and show them that even though you're a jerk, your moms still care, you still matter. And that was powerful. And I hope that at some point they can see that as moms, we try. We do everything in our power to be there for our kids, to do everything for our kids, even when they just spent the morning calling you an effing B word, like mine do. So I just wanted to touch base and check in because education's important. And the fact that we were only one of 6 parents that showed up tonight is depressing to me because how on earth are you helping your child if you're not engaging in their educational experience? These kids spend most of the time more hours at school than they do with their parents. Schooling is important. If you're not a part of it, I urge you, become a part of it. Even if you can't make the meetings, even if you can't physically go to school, set up a phone conference with the teacher whenever possible. You know, make sure that you know what's going on. We get daily report papers from the school, so we always know what's going on. It's a part of our IEP, and I encourage all of you, especially with children who have special needs, and even more explicitly with children who suffer with extreme behavioral needs, make sure you are a part of their educational experience. Because if they're learning something that you don't want them to learn, you're a part of it. So why not be a part of it when they're learning the things that you need them to learn to become successful adults. So I'd love to see you guys leave a comment below. Let me know, what do you do to stay involved with your kids' schooling? What do you wish you could do? What are your barriers? Let me know. This is something that I definitely want to reach out to my community with and see what we can do to get parents more involved, to help them to be more involved with their children's lives, especially when you have kids as difficult as ours. Thank you so much. As always, we would love to have you follow us on YouTube, on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and every other little avenue that we have. We love to grow our community, so if this rang a bell, share this or send it over to a friend or anything like that. You can always send me an email on here, send me a comment, send me a message so we can touch base. Jump on over to the website at nobodygetsleftbehind.orforgotten.com, and you can link up with all of our stuff from there. Thank you so much. Have a great night.